What is going on, everybody? Very, very, very impressive win for the Los Angeles Lakers. They beat up on the Timberwolves 128 to 110. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if I was expecting that. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't know if that's what I was expecting tonight. Really, really a solid victory for the Lakers. I mean, I got a lot of things that I want to break down, a lot of compliments that I want to throw out to the Los Angeles Lakers, individual players, stars, guys that maybe didn't show up on the stat sheet. Um, Phenomenal defense. Okay, maybe phenomenal is a little too aggressive of a word, but really, really good defense after that first quarter. The Lakers set the pace, they set the tone, and I got a kind of a few things here that I want to react to right out the gate. Let me just make this quick mention here as we get started on the post game show. Thank you everybody for being here. I was just listening a little bit to Spectrum Sportsnet, so they just started doing their post game show. I got a chance to listen to a little bit of DeAndre Ayton. Did Chris McGee, Geeter, just say what I thought he just said? Did he just say that Luka, through his first two games, is averaging 46, 11, and 9? What the F? Yes, he did say that, and that is obviously an accurate number. That's what Luka's averaging through the first two games of the regular season. I'm still trying to figure out how the Lakers got Luka. I'm still trying to figure that out. Phenomenal game from Luka Doncic. I'm going to spend some time on Luka. I want to spend some time on Austin Reaves. I want to spend some time on Rui Hachimura. I thought DeAndre Ayton felt his presence tonight. I thought Marcus Smart was probably the quietest player of them all in the sense that the stat sheet's not going to show. Do you know that dude was a plus 24 in the plus minus? And he had some moments there in the second quarter where instantly he just changed the entire scope of the game. So we'll definitely talk about Marcus Smart as well. From the Minnesota side of things, I thought the Lakers, from a defensive perspective, and we'll get into it, I thought did a much better job as the game went on. Kind of took their chances a little bit. Minnesota was hitting a ton of shots in the beginning, so you thought, oh my gosh, is this going to be one of those games? Listen, I got to be honest with everybody. I was not a fan of the whole Gabe Vincent starting. It doesn't make any sense to me from a size perspective, but the Lakers were really creative with how they played the rest of the way and how they decided to manage defensively against Minnesota. We know Lakers don't have size, and they didn't have Jackson Hayes tonight. So obviously a lot of that stuff stands out. Let me do this just to get it right out the gate because I think, we got to acknowledge it. Let me just hit on Luka here for just a quick second, all right? And for those who are on here, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys don't mind. We're chilling today. We're not in a rush. We're hanging out. The FBI investigating Nico. I get it. I completely understand why. But let me kind of take my time on this one and let me start here with Luka. It's funny. I got Spectrum on the laptop, and then I have Amazon airing. It looks like they got Luka on, so I wish I could carry that. Let me see if I could sneak that in somehow. I don't know if I can, but let me see if I can get any piece of this. And if I can, then I'll see if I could get a couple questions in on this interview. Let me see if I can get a piece of it. Okay, well, I'm going to try to do that as we go. Luka Doncic, and I think I'm actually going to be able to do it. I'm able to pause on here, so let's see if I can do it. Luka Doncic tonight. Let me give you guys Luka's numbers here real quick. 49, 11, and 8. Missed the free throw to get him 50 points. Got to the free throw line 19 times, 16 of 19 from the free throw line. 5 of 12 from the three-point line. 14 of 23 from the field. I've tried saying this a couple times, and we'll see what eventually happens this season. But I've tried doing this because I genuinely believe it. I'm not saying it to blow smoke up anybody's ass. How disappointing would it be if Luka's not in the conversation for MVP this year? I'm talking about legitimately in the mix of like, hey, this can go Jokic, this could go Shea, or this can go Luka Doncic. I'd be disappointed. And I know it's not about Luka winning the MVP, but it's more about Luka just being the best player in the world. And when you're one of the best players in the world, this just kind of comes with the territory. How do you stop them? How do you stop them? The Minnesota Timberwolves are using Jaden McDaniels, who's a good defender. They're using Anthony Edwards, who's a good defender. They got the size of Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle and Naz Reid, and they got a number of different players that they could throw, obviously at Luka Doncic, and they could find ways to say, all right, let's try to get him into the paint so then we could try to suffocate him. We got a couple of bigs waiting for him. They can throw a number of different things over at Luka Doncic. And there was a play, listening to the broadcast, this was the first, I think it's the first Prime game, right? NBC had it, ESPN. This is the first Amazon Prime game. And I'm listening to Dwayne Wade, Candace Park, they're breaking it down. And there's a portion in the conversation where they're like, did you see how easy Luka Doncic made it look? And I think it was Jaden McDaniels got to go through 2 screens. Eventually he gets to where he gets to. And it just, it looked so easy. It was just, I didn't even know, if you're somebody from the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're like, that might be the most pathetic defense that I've ever seen. But I don't know if it was pathetic defense or it was just one of the best surgeons in the NBA slicing and dicing the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's not a bad defense. They got good individual players. They got size. Chris Finch is a good defensive coach. I mean, we saw what the Minnesota Timberwolves did to the Lakers. It's unbelievable to watch. And, if you're a Laker fan out there, you're spoiled with superstars that have been a part of this franchise and this organization. And you're now spoiled for probably the next 7, 8, 10 years, potentially. We'll see how long, obviously, Luka plays. He's 26 years old now, with another absolute superstar that can take games over at any moment, can slice and dice your defense. And it was just phenomenal to watch him play. I mean, as somebody who's just a fan of basketball and a fan of the NBA, just phenomenal to watch Luka Doncic play in these first couple of games. And here's the beauty tonight. The beauty is, I've said this many times, look, he could go out there, he can drop 46 points. That's fine. Or not 46, 49 tonight. But if he doesn't get help, Lakers still aren't going to win games. Tonight he got help. Tonight there were other players. As great as he was in that first quarter, what he dropped, 23, 24 points in the first quarter, just a stupid number. He's like, what are you talking about? 23, 24 in the first quarter. But the beauty was, after he got all that, it wasn't still on his shoulders. There were some lineups out there where Luka was on the bench. And give credit to some of those other lineups that were out there that included Austin Reaves and Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura and Marcus Smart and, even Jake LaRavia at times. I'm not telling you Jake LaRavia did something special individually, but there were lineups out there that didn't include Luka Doncic, and the Lakers were still getting their buckets. That's going to be the winning recipe. And I'm not telling you it's going to happen every night, but what I am going to tell you, when you have a superstar like Luka Doncic, you're in every game. The question's just going to be, what do these other players, how are they able to contribute? How much can you rely on them? And tonight, obviously, Luka was able to rely on some of those other players. Okay, let me see if I could do this here. And if I can catch it, great. If I can't, that's okay. You know what? No, let's go to JJ. JJ's talking. I talked for so long, we forgot about JJ. Here's Redick on the Lakers win.
Team tonight. Actually, what do you think about DeAndre Ayton tonight? The way he played, did he play with the force you wanted to see?
Yeah. Da was great. I thought his patience for the game was really good. By that, Luka getting it going early, being the beneficiary of DA's screening at times. You get into halftime, I thought DA was playing really well. You look up, he's got 3 shots, and really just kind of let the offense come to him throughout that second half. And then defensively, he was really good as well.
You want to let Luka wing out again?
I'm happy to leave.
JJ, Laker fans are known for being so rational and reasonable and patient. Did you feel any of the angst since the opening night loss? And you told us pregame it was a very detailed approach for the last couple of days. Was that in any way feeling what maybe Laker Nation was feeling?
No, I've great respect for fan bases that care. I've already been warned by the NBA. I'm not allowed to use cuss words in here, but I like fan bases that give a, they care, and so I appreciate it. Got the chance to play in Philly. It's like an honor to coach this team and be a part of this organization and try to lead this group and represent this fan base. So I'm well aware that the angst exists and there's an overreaction to everything. I followed and been in the NBA long enough to know that exists with fan bases that care as much as the Lakers fan base do. But it didn't change or affect, I don't think, me or the group at all in terms of our preparation for this game. And we have a really tough stretch coming up over the next week with these 4 games coming up. So we just got to continue to build, continue to work. Thank you, guys.
Yes, he loves the Laker fan.
All right, JJ was done. Whether they were done or JJ's like, that's it. I'm good. I got nothing else to say. All right, everybody that's here, thank you very much for hanging out. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Sliwa or the Amazon Prime postgame show. I will tell you this, the overhead for the Sliwa show, it's a little bit less than Amazon's. It's a little bit less. Not by much, but it's a little bit less. I don't have Blake and Dirk and Steve and Udonis and Chris Haynes, the whole crew. It's a little bit less. Let's just say that it's a little bit less. All right, let's get into a couple other things. I got some just initial thoughts. So I did my little rant there on Luka Doncic and how special he was tonight. All right, I need people to do me a favor that are in this chat here real quick. Okay? I'm not asking for subscribers. I'm not asking for MVP members. I'm not asking for anything but one thing. Give Austin Reaves some credit tonight. All right? There's a lot of Austin Reaves slander on a night in, night out basis. And it's not just on this postgame show. It's a lot of people talking about Austin Reaves. Do me a favor tonight. Have something nice to say about Austin Reaves. And by the way, forget the 25 points. Austin Reaves has 19 assists in 2 games. How about that part of his game? How about 11 assists tonight, setting the tone and finding other players and not being a guy that's selfish with the ball? Had 25 points off just 15 shot attempts, played 37 minutes for the Lakers. I thought was all over the place and was doing everything he can to contribute. For all those that like to go at Austin Reaves, and it's fine. I get it. I understand it. People are saying, Al, I don't know about Luka and Austin Reaves in the backcourt. Al, I don't know if you want to give Austin Reaves $35, $40 million a year. You're not wrong in any of that stuff. That's not the argument that I'm making when people have arguments about Austin Reaves and his long-term potential with the Lakers. But what I will say, you got to give credit where credit's due. And there's a lot of people that have gone after Austin Reaves, especially after that playoff series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think that in order for the slander that goes to Austin Reaves to also be validated, you got to also give the man credit when he plays well. So far, I wasn't crazy about game 1 against the Golden State Warriors. I thought he got most of his buckets towards the end. But 19 assists in 2 games for Austin Reaves. I know it's not going to be talked about all that much, but he's doing his job without LeBron in the lineup. And I don't really question whether Austin Reaves is going to be there for the Lakers on a night in, night out basis. But the assist is a part of his game. I was listening. Mike Bresnahan said this on Spectrum after game 1. He said something to the effect that Kobe used to have moments where he would decide, okay, hey, in this game, instead of me trying to go out there and be very aggressive on offense, I'm going to try to get everybody else involved in the first half. And this was a conversation they were talking about primarily with Luka, but they also mentioned Austin Reaves. The way Reaves can be more dangerous, the way he can be just a real, true, authentic threat to the Lakers, obviously throughout this season. I would tell you that he has to also be a player that can distribute to others. We already know what he is on defense. He's never going to be the defensive player that you obviously want to see. He's going to have some of his deficiencies, no question about it. But Austin Reaves was phenomenal tonight. And there are a lot of good defenders out there that didn't have a chance against him. And again, it's the ability to say, hey, I can score on you on anytime I want, but I'm not just going to score. I'm also going to be able to get other players involved. And I thought Austin Reaves was able to do that. Rui Hachimura. All right, Rui. I spent a lot of time on Rui. And guys, just so you guys know, usually when I start the post-game show, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to give my instant reaction, the things that kind of stood out to me. Obviously, if a player interview comes up, then I'll grab that as well. But I will get to some of the comments, and I'll just do that kind of within the flow of the show. Rui tonight, I think I was saying this morning. I said, you know what? Rui's going to probably have a good night. It wasn't based on anything. It was, well, he didn't have a good game in game one, which means he'll probably have a good game in the second game with the Lakers. Rui was excellent tonight. He had stretches and moments where he was scoring on. He had a possession I really, really liked. And the broadcast kept talking about how Rui was not dependent on the three-point line. And tonight, Rui took 4 threes. By the way, if there's a number for Rui, 4 is probably the perfect number for Rui Hachimura. Maybe 5 at the most. What you don't want Rui to do, you don't want Rui to act like he's, a 6'4" guard in the NBA and just has no size and can't get to the basket and can't work on his mid-range game and everything else. I mean, I think if I'm a defense and Rui is just settling for a 3, now I know he's going to have some looks that are completely wide open. Luka's going to set him up. Reaves is going to set him up. And he's got a wide open look in the corner and then take the 3. That's fine. It's a good shot. But there was one possession that I really loved. I don't know if you guys remember this in the first half. Instead of taking the 3 and settling, he's kind of sizing up Naz Reid. And Naz Reid wasn't playing that bad a defense. But Rui got his shoulder right into the chest of Naz Reid. And then Reid just kind of backed up just a little bit to give Rui the space he was looking for and just shot a beautiful 15, 16-foot jumper, nothing but nylon. And it might not seem like a big thing, but that was a player that was creating a bucket for himself. He wasn't depending on somebody else. So Rui tonight, 23 points. I mean, for all I know, the Lakers are going to play. What's their next game? Sacramento coming up on Sunday. For all I know, he's going to have 8 points and 4 rebounds coming up on Sunday, and that will be it. But they need nights like this from Rui. They got this night from Rui as well. So shout out to Rui Hachimura, 10 of 13 from the field. Lakers as a team, I mean, this has a lot to do why they won this game. They shot 59% from the field and 41% from the three-point line. I mean, I haven't seen stats like that. You know, since I was at El Cajon playing for Kennedy Recreation Center, still one of the more legendary games of my career. I think I was in 6th grade at that point. I haven't seen stats like that since 6th grade. I'm just telling you, I still have that box score. Rui killed it. Austin Reaves killed it. Luka Doncic, I pointed out what he did. And DeAndre Ayton, let me round out just kind of part of this starting lineup as well. 15 points and 8 rebounds for DeAndre Ayton. Here's the one thing I asked from Ayton. By the way, 7 of 11 from the field. The one thing I asked from Ayton is, can we feel your presence? And was it just me, or did you feel like, oh, yeah, there's Ayton? All right, yeah, there's Ayton. Now, there's one possession early on where Ayton got blocked by Jaden McDaniels, and I'm like, well, I don't want to remember Ayton for that. But felt his presence a little bit more. That's all I'm asking for. Just felt his presence a little bit more. 15 and 8 from Rui Hachimura or from DeAndre Ayton. But we'll take that. And again, I listened to his post-game interview on Spectrum right after the game. I'm rooting for the guy. I mean, he's like wildly positive. He feels like he wants to do well, but he's going to be scrutinized on this team. He's going to be scrutinized on this roster of what people need from him, expect from him. And the Lakers are obviously desperate to get a really, really good game they're desperate to get really good games from DeAndre Ayton. Okay, I'm going to hold up here on a couple other players that I want to point out. Let me get to a couple of the comments here. I appreciate anybody sending in a super, whatever the case is. I appreciate everybody doing that. 2 straight days of practice together worked. Francis, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's safe to say there was some frustration in the preseason because it just didn't feel like the Lakers were ready. And it didn't feel like they were going to be ready for the regular season. And frankly, they didn't look ready against Golden State. And the Warriors are the type of team, listen, they're all vets. These are guys that the experience they have, the championship experience that they have, you screw around with teams like the Golden State Warriors, you're going to lose. You make mistakes against the Golden State Warriors, you're going to lose. Minnesota, they're not the Golden State Warriors. You're never going to have a team with that high of IQ that can, obviously make you suffer for any mistake that you make. But yes, it looked a little cleaner today. And I thought for me, defensively is the area that I care about most, but also on offense, it was smoother. It didn't feel like, I think of the terms I was using, that the gears were grinding, and it didn't feel like that tonight against the Timberwolves. Let's get a couple more comments in here. Seiko. Thank you. Seiko, thank you very much for the super, brother. I appreciate it. Slee, you predicted a Rui comeback game. Honestly, I predicted it, but I didn't predict it off of anything other than, well, this is kind of Rui. When I'm not expecting something from Rui, I get something from Rui. When I'm asking for something from Rui, it ain't happening. So I'd like to pretend like I predicted it, but I really didn't. It just, honestly, like I said, I think it came much more down to the piece that I'm referring to, which is his inconsistency just came through this time. Sam, Luka Doncic is really good at basketball. I mean, they traded him. How is that possible? I saw somebody saying that in the chat earlier. By the way, Sam, thank you for the super. Seiko, I appreciate it, buddy. Francis, thank you very much as well. I saw somebody say in the chat, he said something about Anthony Davis. Oh, stop the AD slander. I don't know if they were talking about me. I don't have AD slander, but it is just incredibly foolish to trade one of the top 3 players in the NBA at the time, 25 years old. Okay, you want to call him top 4? You want to stretch the top 5? Go ahead. Stretch wherever you want. That's not slander. That's just absurd. Speaking of Luka Doncic, let's take a listen to Luka Doncic. Man, it's fun doing post-game shows again. I'm enjoying this, my people.
How did you see that, kind of the whole picture for you in defending as well?
Yeah, I feel like in the second half, they were trying some blitzes. I think the paint was more close, so that's how I tried to, kind of control the game, And I think I managed that good today. A lot of times, sometimes I don't do it, but I think I managed that good today.
It's the first time a Lakers started the season with 2 40-plus point games. How about this kind of continuation from how you were playing with your national team, feeling healthy? How has this felt to start the season for you?
I mean, it felt great. I wish we would have won the first game, but obviously it's a good comeback. I think Minnesota is a great team. We had to do a lot to win today. But myself, I feel great. Just trying to and want to win every game.
Luka, obviously you want to get everyone involved, but in the first quarter when, they were burning up the nets the way they were, did you feel like you had to kind of keep pace with what they were doing? And then, I guess, how did things open up as the game went on for your teammates?
I feel like, we started when they were up 10 in the first 5-6 minutes. So I felt, we just needed to be more physical, not only on the defensive end, but more on the offensive end too. So just trying to drive the ball, read the defenses, and just go from there.
When you think back to last year's first-round series, what comes to your mind, and did you think back to it at all over the last couple of days coming into tonight?
That's a good question.
I honestly didn't. As I always say, last year was really tough for me. Just want to forget about last season, just trying to move on. But I didn't really think about that first series, just because, we're second game. We're going to meet them 2 or 3 more times, so it's going to be a war every time we play them.
Luka, everyone talks about the joy you play with. You did a little shimmy there after the 3-point shot. Where did that come from? Was that a Steph Curry steal? Was that Luka's steal? Shimmy?
No, it's honestly because I don't know what to do at those moments. I said that before. I just do some stupid thing and I don't know what to do. And that just came out. It's got to be better. I got to work on it.
Thanks, Luka.
Thank you.
All right, phenomenal stuff right there from Luka. Man, they got there. By the way, just look at these stats here real quick. This is the first 2 games. 43 against the Warriors, 49 from Minnesota. And guys, pay attention to this too. It's not like this guy, he has 23 rebounds in 2 games. He has 17 assists in 2 games as well. You know, I grew up, my favorite player in the NBA, my favorite player of all time, this is my favorite player. And granted, I didn't get to see a lot of them. You know, I was watching Lakers. Really, when I really started watching Lakers basketball is Lakers and the Bulls in the finals, like that era when Kareem was done. My favorite player growing up was Magic. You know why I love Magic? Because Magic would do a little bit of everything for you. What do you need Magic to do? You want me to, and you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people in this chat that are not old enough to remember Magic or watch Magic, but if you ever go back and see some highlights of Magic, it's not just the dimes and the passes and everything else, but you go look at that box score and it was like 25, 8, and 8. And I love that about his game. Michael Thompson, who I used to do the pregame show with for a number of years, 5 years, said that's the greatest leader. Maybe he said the NBA, whatever it is, but I know he said if you draft anybody, that's the best leader. I loved watching Magic. One of the things I respect so much about LeBron, he fills up the box score. He's a version of Magic Johnson, but just much more athletic. Luka, who's not athletic at all, the slowest person that we could possibly see. Look at these numbers. You know, it's interesting that I thought about this morning. I'm like, do I bring up that the Lakers, you know, it's a payback game against Minnesota, this, that? You're like, no, not really. It's not the playoffs. It's just the second game of the regular season. But damn, they looked really good against Minnesota. And I thought this was a fair question from Dave McMenamin. And I you know, listening to Luka say that last year was just such a, he doesn't want to think about last year. Damn, that means, you know, it's telling you something. It means last year was, you know, obviously really, really tough for him. Amir, thank you, brother. Thank you for the super. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that's throwing out supers. If you're not throwing out a super and you're just in the chat, I appreciate you being here. Only thing I ask from everybody, just subscribe to the channel. Don't feel obligated to, you know, obviously offer anything to the channel, but subscribing means a lot, and that's free. So please, if you can just at least subscribe. Amir, man, I miss watching you after games. Well, I'm enjoying being back here. I'll tell you that. And, you know, the hope is we're watching some really good Lakers basketball, that the competition is good, that the defense is there, that guys are stepping up, that we got a lot of good things to talk about. That's the hope. Obviously, that makes a lot of these games that much more exciting, and it certainly makes the post-game show more exciting as well. Let's get another one here. Kate B. Kate B with the super. Thank you, Kate. That's it. Just the 5. Doesn't even have anything to say. Just says, Slee, I got you. Thank you very much, Kate. I appreciate that. I'm going to get a coffee with that tomorrow, all right? I'm going to think of you when I grab that coffee tomorrow. I appreciate you very much. Let's get another one in here. Thank you again for the super. Panic about Gabe over Smart. Remember, Smart is on minutes restriction. JJ probably chose Gabe as best placeholder for general plan. Smart is fire. Perfect. Let's go. Let's talk Marcus Smart. I hope you guys, I hope I build some credibility with you guys that when I'm wrong about something, I got no problem just admitting it. And maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't know. I didn't like the idea of starting Gabe. I really didn't. And I didn't like the idea of starting Gabe specifically against Minnesota. Why would you start Gabe Vincent against Minnesota? It didn't hurt the Lakers. You know, one thing I didn't see, and then this is going to lead me to Marcus Smart, but let me do this here real quick. Let me just look at the team stats. I just want to see what the rebounding ended up being. 40-38 Minnesota advantage. That's nothing. Now, the offensive rebounds was 15-7. I think at one point in the first half, they had 18-0 second chance points. So I'm not telling you that doesn't hurt the Lakers. Both teams were clean turnovers, 12-12. Lakers beat them points in the paint, 54-46, but it really didn't hurt them. So the Lakers were obviously very strategic with that. Okay, I got Marcus Smart. I want to talk Marcus Smart. Let me squeeze in Austin Reaves here. I'm going to leave this comment here. I'm going to come back to it. Let's hear what Austin Reaves has to say about the Lakers win.
You just stick with the schemes. They made a lot of shots. We had a couple blown coverages. I had a couple of DiVincenzo.
I will say this: they were hitting everything in that first quarter. Minnesota was.
Got a lot of guys that can shoot it. They move a lot, and obviously Ant's, one of the best players in the league. So it's tough, but when they go on a run like that, you got to realize that it's a long game, and you have opportunities to come back.
I mean, we all know that when Luka got here, he was coming off the calf injury, right, and it was going to take him some time. What have you noticed about kind of how sharp and crisp and explosive that he is to start this season?
You've seen the dunk and a very explosive, but
different kind of explosion.
I mean, I would claim it as a dunk, but I'm not very athletic, so sorry.
You are relative to the average person, I hope.
It depends. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously one of the best players in the league. He's been that since he's got in the league. So the stuff that he does isn't a surprise to anybody. It's not like it's crazy because you look at the numbers that he's putting up, but he does it within a way that everybody's involved. He's such a good passer, and that's enough compliment for him.
All right, we'll move on to some other guys then. Marcus Smart, I think, only took 1 or 2 shots. He was plus 24 off the bench. Does that kind of typify the energy and the effort you got from not just him, but Vanderbilt, some other guys as well?
Yeah, I mean, everybody that came off that bench, and that bench group was big for us. They guarded at a high level. And he's just competed. They had back-to-back possessions. Marcus got 1 steal, should have been 2. He lost the other one, but just laying his body out on the line for us and giving us opportunities over and over again. That's the same with Jake. DA was a monster tonight. So just continuing to build those things and trust in one another, and we'll be fine.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. I got a lot more I want to get into, so let's keep going here. And he leads me. I want to go back to Marcus Smart. So Austin Reaves, I already gave him a lot of love for tonight's game. I mentioned the 19 assists in 2 games. I hope you guys realize just how important that's going to be for the Lakers. And if Reaves can have that type of contributions and continue to do what he's doing and grow and turn off all the noise that's around him, that's only going to be beneficial to the Lakers. Reaves was just talking about Marcus Smart, and I don't know if you guys remember this possession. There's a possession where he gets a steal and throws a beautiful outlet play while he's on the ground. And then the very next possession, by the way, he gets the steal on, did he rip it from Anthony Edwards? I mean, just rip the ball from Anthony Edwards. It was just an unbelievable defensive play when Anthony Edwards was kind of getting buckets whenever he wanted. Gets the steal, throws an outlet pass from the ground. The very next possession, almost gets a steal again, dives for a loose ball, doesn't get it, and I want to say, I can't remember who ended up with the loose ball, but I think Jaden McDaniels ended up with a dunk. I thought those 2 plays kind of sparked something defensively for the Lakers. I mean, if you look up and down this lineup, and again, Marcus Smart, and I'm going to go back to this comment, and you're making a good point here from the perspective of the minutes restriction. So I think there's something there, and maybe that's just more strategy more than anything else. But if you look at the plus minuses for every player that played tonight, do you know that Marcus Smart had a plus 24 in 21 minutes of play? A plus 24 in 21 minutes of play? Do you know how that impressive? Do you know how impressive that is? That you could have that much impact in a game in just 21 minutes of play? That's unbelievable. And that's a game where, for the first half, it was close. Again, he didn't play a ton of minutes, crazy amount of minutes. But here's the theme that I'm seeing with most of the people here from Marcus Smart. He did play that, obviously didn't play well in that first preseason game that he was involved in, really didn't do anything. I kept using it as an example. It's like, look, the guy went for a jog and he wasn't going to go start sprinting. He's like, can I get a jog in and just, get a little bit of conditioning? And that's what the first preseason was. Since then, you could just kind of see like, hey, I know Marcus Smart. I know when he's in the game. I know when I know where he is on the floor defensively. I see him. I hear him. I didn't think he was great against Golden State, but, there were some highlights there where you felt his presence. You saw some offensive fouls. You knew that he had that enforcer in him that we all kind of remembered and were hoping for, that he brings to the Lakers from when he was in Boston. I don't question Marcus Smart. My only question Marcus Smart is his health. Played 51 games in 2 years. That's the only question. The question is, are those days behind him, or was it just bad luck for 2 years? So that's going to be the question for Marcus Smart. And, I definitely think I highlighted a couple Marcus Smart ones here. Let me see if I could find them real quick, because I'm not surprised at all. Here's one. Smart's influence in game is underrated. He's becoming the heart and soul of this team. I mean, I don't have to, and I've complimented the channel before, because I do feel like there's just people that really enjoy the game of basketball. And that's kind of a little bit of the nuts and bolts of the channel. And I think people can appreciate when somebody is out there that might not be getting all the recognition and the love, but is also has a way of having some impact in the game. So it's nice to see, obviously, Marcus Smart doing what he was doing tonight. Even against Golden State, Smart was hustling and fighting through their dirty screens, and his dirty armbar on Steph Curry. I think we should add that as well. Marcus Smart still out of shape. Yeah, looks heavier than he probably should be, or he'd like to be. All right, let me read now just a couple of these regular comments here. I thought we'd get cooked tonight based on the last performance, so we'll take the W. Yeah, listen, here's my kind of assessment on the Lakers. When people have asked me, and I've gone on some different radio stations or different podcasts or things like that, out of the market and or in the market. But point I'm making is, people ask me, hey, what do you think of the Lakers? And what I keep saying is, like, listen, there really isn't a way to assess this team. We just have to see some games. And in the first game, we saw some areas that are concerning. And those areas are you going to have enough role players step up? Is there too much on Luka Doncic's back? Is the defense going to be connected enough? Is Ayton going to be consistent enough on the defensive end as well? There's obvious, we'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't say there aren't concerns with this team and the roster and LeBron being injured and all that stuff. But tonight was the complete flip of what some of the positives can be. You have arguably the best player in the world. You have a really, really good player in Austin Reaves as well. And then you got guys with potential. And then the question is just going to be, will those guys live up to some of their potential? They don't all need to step up every game. If next game you told me on Sunday night against Sacramento, Gabe Vincent gave you 15, but Rui gave you 10. Okay, just can you get a few guys to step up every night so that there is some help? And tonight, obviously, the Lakers had multiple guys step up. All right, let's keep looking at some of these comments. Smart took Ant's cookies, completely deflated Ant after that. Minnesota's got an issue. I'll tell you what Minnesota is, and it's a similar issue that Houston has. Guys, you got to have point guards. You need a quarterback in the NBA. You need a quarterback. You don't need the best quarterback, but you need a guy that can set the tone. Anthony Edwards needs somebody to feed him at the right spot at the right time. Rudy Gobert needs a couple lobs that just come because it's a really smart point guard. Julius Randle was phenomenal tonight. Jesus, Randle miss any shots? What? Let me just see some of their stats here. Julius went 26, 9 of 16. I felt like Julius hit everything. Anthony Edwards ended up with 31, still efficient, 11 of 19. Nothing wrong with that. But he was quiet. Ant was a lot quieter after that first quarter. All right, let me get Rui Hachimura in the mix here. We gave him a lot of praise and credit tonight. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Pretty minimal turnovers. The offense was clicking. 3 guys over 20 in the starting lineup. Like, what made things look so much more smooth tonight?
I think tonight we shared the ball. We trusted each other. The game one was a little different. Against the Golden State. They're a very unique team. So especially play against these guys, Minnesota. We played them literally last year so many times. So, and coming out from the season, we lost against them. So we knew exactly how they're gonna play. You know, they haven't really changed their players, so we knew how they were gonna play. So we had a good scouting from yesterday to today, right before the game. You know, the coaches was on it, so we are able to play free, and then that's why we got all those, you know, assists and all that, you know, what we supposed to do. So that's why we got this stuff.
Really quick question: why can't you rebound? Just wanted to throw that out there. Let me know. Thank you.
Board, not just watching him and making sure you get involved in the game too.
Yeah, it was just I was just sitting in the first quarter. I got out of the game, and I was just sitting and trying to look at the scoreboard, and he was already like 17 points. You know, I was talking to Brony. I was like, this is crazy. You know, it just doesn't feel like it, you know. It's just so easy for him. The basketball is, and that's the beauty about playing with him. You know, he gets a lot of attention, attraction from the defense. So especially like me, you know, I get all those easy shots. You know, of course you have to be ready to make all those shots. You know, but those
doesn't make any sense.
That, you know, Luka can do. You know, just him being he has a ball. You know, he attacks the rim, whatever. You know, so it's incredible.
Rui, JJ told us pregame that for you guys, you know, good offense can lead to good defense for you guys. Even if it's not a Luka 49-point game, does it feel like tonight could be more of what you guys can be offensively, just from a process standpoint?
Yeah, I think playing with him, you know, since last year after the All-Star break, you know, it's been like, you know, fun to, you know, play with him for sure. Like I say, you know, he gets a lot of attention. He gets a lot of we can do a lot of stuff, you know, like even today's game, like fourth quarter, the second half, you know, they had to double team, triple team, whatever that is, you know. So you guys saw, you know, it makes us so easy, you know. I was wide open so many times. So, you know, I think this is only second games of the season, but we have to keep building this chemistry and get through this whole season.
All right, stop it right there. Because I don't have a choice because he's done talking. Really disappointed Rui did not answer my question. I mean, that was so disrespectful. It was a fair question. I mean, why can't you rebound? No, to be honest with you, he was phenomenal tonight. Offensively, aggressive. Defensively, I liked his presence. So we'll give Rui a lot of credit tonight for what he was able to do. All right, let's see what we got here. I got a couple people want to talk a little Ayton. I got a couple more supers that I want to do here. So let's keep things moving here. Maybe if I talk a little less, I can get through some of this stuff. Hey, Sliwa, look, you get Ayton involved and look what happens. Great game. He's not a player to man the ball. He needs to be set up. Know your personnel. Yeah, but I'm going to go back to something that I said. Did it not feel like his energy was a lot better tonight as well? Did it not feel like his movement was a little better as well? Right place, right time. As much as you look at the coaching staff and point guards to set up a guy like Ayton and get him some looks and some touches, there was a moment, and the broadcast kept mentioning it, and I like that they did. I think they were obviously observing it, but Luka was out of the game. Lakers went out of their way. Hey, get Ayton the ball. Get Ayton some touches. Lakers did that, which was smart. That's exactly what they should be doing. And there's going to be moments, not all the time, that Ayton needs to get his looks. And I thought they, obviously had a few moments where they did that. With that in mind, Ayton cannot be one of those players that's like, well, if they don't feed me, then I just don't eat. Bro, go grab yourself a plate and get up there and serve yourself. Like there's some players in the league that, yes, they sit back and they'll wait till somebody says, all right, it's your turn to go eat. But a player like DeAndre Ayton, and we see the team that the Lakers have, how exposed they were last year because they didn't have any big men. Ayton, go eat. I mean, nobody's going to tell DeAndre Ayton. I'm not telling you they're going to run everything through him, but I guarantee you, if Ayton has some possessions where he's like, look, I got a mismatch here. I know I have an advantage here. Hey, let me do a quick. Let me slip on that screen and let me see if you can get a lob to me. I mean, I find it difficult to think that if Ayton's not aggressive and he's not, communicating that stuff, that they're not going to let the guy handle his business. So, yes, Ayton was more active tonight. Give him that credit, but that's also on Ayton. I just don't want to be one of those people that sit back here and it's like, it's just completely dependent on everybody else. Ayton's a 26-year-old that's been in the league for a while, that's making $30+ million. I know only $8 million for the Lakers, was a former number 1 pick. No excuses for the man. Nobody's asking him to go get you 25 and 12 a night. Go get 16 and 10. That seems wildly reasonable for a man like Ayton. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm overexposing him. Maybe it's not realistic. I don't have that answer for you. Okay, let's take a look at some more of these comments here. We got, let's see. Okay, read that one. Seiko, Luka first NBA player with 40, 10, and 5 to start the season. Guys, I mean, I'm going to have a difficult time with this. I'm telling you. I'm going to have a very difficult time with this. I'm going to have a difficult time trying to figure out and understand why the F the Dallas effing Mavericks traded Luka Doncic. And to any team you could have traded to. The Lakers? Are you sure? I don't know about that. What a great start for him. Unbelievable start. Oz, defense, 8 of 10. AR, 8-10, and Luka Magic equals, I got you. Get some defense. Austin Reaves and Luka Magic equals New King. Yeah, just I think as we watch each one of these games, they're not obviously all going to look like this. Primetime game on Amazon. These players all delivered for the Lakers. Beautiful. By the way, I'm waiting to see here. I'd love to hear if Marcus Smart talks. I mean, it'd be great to hear his thoughts on the game. So I'm going to just kind of go a little bit and see if I could buy some time and see if we can get some Marcus Smart. And I do want to talk a little bit about the Lakers and the Kings coming up on Sunday. But Oz, I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of post-game shows where we're sitting here and we're talking about this. By the way, I think from the Luka perspective, one of the things everybody walked away with, I thought last year is that, hey, Luka doesn't look right. Luka doesn't look in shape. Luka looks like his conditioning is off. We cannot have that conversation about, somebody that's supposed to be one of the best players in the world. And so far, 2 games into the season, nobody's questioning his conditioning. Nobody's looking at Luka and saying, hey, he looks fat. I mean, I don't know how many comments I used to get for some of that stuff, but I would see it all the time. Get another one here. David Sabatini. Nice win tonight without LeBron. What seed legitimately do you think we can end up with this year? ESPN had the Lakers at the number 7 seed out of the play or in the playing tournament. They're not going to be in the playing tournament. I mean, listen, anything can happen. There's a lot of good teams in the Western Conference, but the playing tournament, I don't think the Lakers are going to be in the playing tournament. And I'd be highly disappointed like everybody else that they're in the playing tournament. Can you be 4 or 5? Right around there, right in that mix? I mean, I know ideally maybe you want home court in the first round. You get that number 4 seed. Can you be right in that mix? The question is going to be, what are they going to look like with 10 more games or 15 more games without LeBron? And then when LeBron comes back, what's LeBron look like? How healthy does he look? That's going to be the biggest question as well. Thank you, David. I appreciate you throwing in that super there. All right. I got something that I want to do here real quick, and I want to make this a little bit about the rest of the games around the NBA, and then I also want to do preview the Lakers and Sacramento Kings. I want to give a quick shout out here. A shout out to our partner, one of our main partners. Thank you very much to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Was with Brad. Brad was at the first game, and then I was saw him on, what was it, on Thursday night? Thursday night I saw him, or I'm sorry, on Tuesday night on opening night, saw him at the Lakers game. Real quick on Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm, they're injury attorneys. They can help anybody in the state of California. They're the best in the business when it comes to injury attorneys, and they got so many different examples of all these different clients that they've helped in the past. It's an intimidating, daunting process. Nobody feels comfortable if you're in a serious injury. There's a wrongful death case. It's a friend. It's a family member. Put them in touch with the best in the business. It's Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. We did create a URL as I forget it live. WallaceWins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Go to the website, free consultation. Somebody will reach out to you. I can put you in touch directly with Brad Wallace. If there's a specific situation that you're in and you need some help, I'll make an introduction. So please, I hope you don't need them, but if you ever do, they're the best injury attorneys in the business and can help anybody in the state of California. So shout out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Okay, let's keep going here. I'm going to pop something up. Not something that I do, but I've been thinking about kind of adding this in to the rest of the show, and I think it's a good idea. Just to kind of go through scores around the NBA as we get to kind of this stage of the show, and we'll do that here real quick. So I'm going to share my screen. If Marcus Smart comes up, or if there's another player that comes up, I am going to go to it because I would like to hear from Marcus Smart if he talks. So let's just do this here real quick. So games around the NBA tonight. I think this is kind of interesting just based off of, and I know a lot of you that are on here are typically, and of course, right as I say that, Marcus Smart is ready to go. We're coming out of this. And we're going straight to Marcus Smart to get his thoughts on this game. Here is Marcus Smart.
My words, trying to get everybody, in the right spots and just get everybody going. We're playing against a really good team tonight, and they brought it. They punched us in the mouth early, and we needed to respond, so I just wanted to make sure we did that.
I know you're not a stat guy, but obviously you don't have a lot of field goal attempts or assists, but you look and you see a plus 24 in the box score. Are there things like that you kind of keep track of so you can feel like, hey, that's the type of impact that I want to have? It doesn't matter what the kind of stats are.
Actually, no, I don't try not to look at the stats. For me, unfortunately, stats aren't going to do me any justice, so I try not to worry about them. I just try to go out there and, like I said, do what I'm supposed to do, and help my teammates out the best way I can. And being a plus 24 is great and everything, and it definitely showed the impact that can be made without touching the ball, scoring the ball, shooting the ball. And that's huge for us.
Marcus, you have played with some great players. How much do you marvel at Luka, what he did tonight, what he's done the first two games? His name has come up with someone like Jerry West.
Yeah, at this point for me, I've been playing against Luka since he was 16, actually. But, I've been on the other side of those, so I'm not surprised at all now. But it does feel good to be on the side of watching it instead of being the side that he's doing it to. So it's still amazing, he comes in every day to work, and it shows. And he's great at what he does, and he's only going to continue to get better.
Marcus, one quick question: can you ask Rui the rebounding situation? Any update on that? Would greatly appreciate that. Thank you very, very much, very, very much. All right, there's Marcus Smart. By the way, that's interesting. Been playing him since he was 16 years old. I might probably respect that these guys have for each other, but obviously Marcus Smart's like, yeah, this dude's been doing this for how long now? So he's not obviously too surprised by it. I wanted to hear Marcus Smart. You heard what he said about I like what he said with the stat line is never going to kind of tell the full story about his impact. He's right about that, because if you look at his stats, there's nothing in there that tells you, oh my gosh, if you didn't watch the game and you just came to the box score and you just, were looking at all the names and you're like, okay, Reaves, Luka, DeAndre, Rui, all that stuff. And you got to Marcus Smart. It says 1 of 2 from the field, 3 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 21 minutes of play. The 2 steals is very impressive in just 21 minutes, but you'd probably walk away and say, okay, yeah, there's nothing really to talk about. Plus 24 in the plus minus. By the way, I don't think I gave Vando enough credit as well. He had 2 steals and 7 rebounds as well. All energy. Only took 2 shots. I like that about Vando. Don't jack up too many threes. Don't get caught up in any of that stuff. There's no need for him to be doing that. All right, let me share my screen with everybody here real quick. We are not going to play any more interviews. We're done from that perspective. I'm going to do 2 more things, and then we're going to get the hell out of here, and everybody's going to enjoy the rest of their Friday night and hopefully their weekend as well. I was just kind of starting to get to the scores around the NBA, so let me do that. Let me just pop myself up here a little bit bigger. All right, here's what we got. Scores around the NBA. So Bucks beat the Raptors. I could actually open this a little more so I could see a little bit of some of the scores here. I know Giannis went off 31 and 20 for Giannis. Couple other scores around the NBA. Kind of a weird moment in the NBA. I saw this on Twitter. Cavs over the Nets. Some dude ran out on the court to try to take a selfie with Donovan Mitchell. What are you doing? What's a grown-ass man doing? Running out on the floor to try to take a selfie during a game. I mean, God bless that man. What are you doing? Knicks over the Celtics. That was the first game on Amazon Prime. It's an interesting one here. The Pistons going to Houston. The Rockets just coming off that double overtime loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Pistons 115-111 over the Houston Rockets. You know, last year I got kind of caught up watching a little bit of Detroit. Fun team to watch. Cade Cunningham's an absolute stud. Heat over the Grizzlies. Spurs. What did Wemby have tonight? 29. What? Wemby had 9 blocks. What is Wembanyama, man? What is this guy? 29, 11, and 9? Victor Wembanyama, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 9 block shots. I got nothing, guys. I don't know how to explain this guy, describe this guy. I got nothing for you. That's unfreaking believable. Mavs 0-2. Guys, I said this in the preseason. Something's missing there. I know it's missing there. They don't have a point guard. They're 0-2. And they're just really bad chemistry. That game against the San Antonio Spurs, no energy, nothing. Damn, look at Blazers. Beat the Warriors by 20. Kings won 105-104. Clippers beat the Suns 129-102. Okay. So that gives everybody kind of an idea of what was going on around the NBA. Next game for the Lakers, we got Lakers at the Kings. So Lakers playing the Sacramento Kings. Let's just kind of really quickly talk about this. I'll briefly preview it. I'll read a couple more comments and we're going to get out of here. By the way, let's do some roll call on a Friday night as well. Let me know where you guys are tuned in from. So if you're here and you're hanging out and you're one of the OGs on the channel, you know what roll call is. I don't need to explain it. If you don't know, follow other people's direction. Lakers got the Kings coming up on Sunday. It's a 6 p.m. tip-off. You know, I'm not sold on the Kings, but could the Kings quietly be one of those teams? They added Dennis Schroeder. We saw them for a brief second in the preseason, but there were a lot of players obviously not playing. Can the Kings do anything? Can they make a little bit of noise? I know going up there and playing in Sacramento is sometimes it could be tough. I'm looking at their game tonight. They played the Jazz. 31 from Zach LaVine. 20 from Malik Monk, both of those guys. Malik Monk didn't play. Neither did DeMar DeRozan. Domantas Sabonis didn't play. So there were a lot of guys that didn't play in the game that the Lakers played against them. And I don't think, if I'm right, I think he's got an ankle injury. I think Schroeder's dealing with an ankle injury that he had against the Lakers. Here's what I'll just say about the game against Sacramento. Tonight was a nice win, but if you really want to build some momentum, and you want to start kind of putting yourself in a situation where fans and people can start looking at the Lakers and say, oh, okay, nice. Hey, look, that team's, they look pretty decent. Hey, even without LeBron, they can win games. Hey, look what Luka's doing. Hey, look at the role players, all that. Sunday seems like, I'm going to sound so dramatic because we're 2 games in with 80 games left. But doesn't Sunday seem like a very interesting game? That if the Lakers go to Sacramento and just kind of grab a quick W there and then come back down, you got Portland for a home game and you win that one as well. It kind of seemed like, okay, let's keep an eye on this here. But I feel like if they lose against Sacramento on Sunday, definitely kill some momentum. Would definitely kill some momentum. So let's see what happens coming up on Sunday. But Lakers got a game at 6. I mentioned this, if you guys were listening to the morning show, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and I'm not doing a live post-game show on Sunday. So I'm going to be recording something, and I'm going to post it probably late. So just a heads up. I will be doing a post-game show. I will react on Sunday, but I will not be doing it live. So just keep that one in mind as we get ready for Sunday's game. All right, some roll call, and then we're out of here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Phoenix in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Anaheim. Shout out to Anaheim. Newport Beach. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Nuggets Nation window has closed. Now, that's an OD right there. Or OD. That's an OG right there. Bompton. Is that Compton or I don't know. Oh, you're confusing me here. Texas in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. Eagle Rock or Echo Park, Eagle Rock. Echo Park, thank you for being a part of the show. Melbourne, Australia. Echo Park, if you're an OG too. I mean, I'll get out there. Somebody want to go roll the ball out to Echo? I'll come out right now. Play a little pickup basketball. Corona, California. Give me 45 minutes to stretch. I'll play for 7 minutes, and then I need another 30-minute stretching session. Torrance, California. Pittsburgh. Oh, Jesus. Oh, here we go. Colorado, thank you for tuning in. San Jose, Costa Rica, thank you for being a part of the show. Johannesburg, South Africa. Awesome. Seiko, thank you, brother. Let's get some more in here. Pura Vida. I pronounced that right? I hope I did. Rochester, New York. China, thank you for tuning into the show. 559 Central California, thank you for being a part of the show. The 818 Cal State Fullerton, Athens, Greece. I think I've been asking Athens, Greece if I can get an invite out there for like 3 years. I think he's invited me for 3 years, and I still haven't gone. Long Beach, thank you for showing up. All right, let's get a couple more in here. Albania in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Reno, Nevada, Tucson, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, the Bay Area, El Monte, Pasadena. Thank you for being here. It's the best city in LA. It's the best city in LA. Little Italy, Riverside. You know, when I think of Riverside, the first thing that comes to my mind is spaghetti and meatballs. Sleaze LA Fitness. That is where I work out. That is where I work out. I've been on a health kick lately, guys. Trying to get healthy. Dallas, Texas, thank you very much for tuning in. A lot of Chauncey Billups in here. Didn't think we are going to get Chauncey Billups in here. Yeah, we got a lot of people everywhere. Damn Sleet, Mr. Worldwide. Well, I'd love to take credit for it. Here's the only problem. The problem is Laker fans are everywhere. They're everywhere. So that's really more of a compliment to them. All right, El Monte, Temple City, neighbors. Okay, there you go. We got everybody in there. New Mexico, thank you. Buena Park. Okay, Philippines. Okay, I can't keep going here. That's it. We're done. Everybody's done. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Really, really nice win for the Lakers. Fun post-game show with everybody tonight as well. Lakers over the Timberwolves, 128-110. Do me a favor, please, if you guys don't mind. Please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. If you want to consider it, I'll throw this in there as well. If you want to be a member, $3 a month. Great way to support the channel. I do have exclusive content. Already did a couple things this week, or did one live stream for exclusive members this week. And now that the season has started, I'll be back to doing that as well. I'll put the link in here. You don't have to feel obligated, but if you'd like to support the channel and you want to do it, $3 a month to be an MVP member. There it is in the chat. And then we'll get the hell out of here. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Enjoy your Saturday. And then I will see you guys Sunday. But Sunday is going to be a recorded show. And then Monday morning back on at 8 a.m. Keith Smith, by the way, who covers the NBA, is going to join me on Monday morning. See you, everybody. Have a great day.